Leadership Presentation, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. At 85, the U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, also known as Notorious RGB, is possibly the world's best known and most powerful advocate for gender parity and the rights of women in the workplace and the world. Ruth was born in Brooklyn, March 13th of 1933. She was an avid reader at an early age. Her mother would drop her off at the library to read and check out books while she went to her weekly beauty parlor appointment. Ruth went on to attend James Madison High School. Her young life was not without tragedy. Ruth's older sister died of meningitis when Ruth was young, and her mother died the day before her high school graduation, but managed to save $8,000 for Ruth's college education, despite their modest middle-class income. The money was dispersed across 5 bank accounts in town. Ruth received an early imprint from her mother's care and expectations. Her mother, Celia, took great care to encourage her daughter's heart, enable Ruth to act, and share an inspired vision for her life. These lessons would have a lifelong impact on young Ruth. Ruth went on to Cornell and graduated in 1954 with a bachelor's degree in government. She has said many times to the press how saddened she was at her time by Cornell, watching the girls suppress how smart they really are. After Cornell, she became a secretary at a Social Security Administration office, but was soon fired for being pregnant. She then left and went to Harvard to enroll in law school. She then transferred to Columbia Law, where she earned her Juris Doctorate. In an unprecedented move, Ruth was nominated by a professor at Columbia for a clerkship at the Supreme Court. At the time, no clerkship nomination had ever been denied. However, Ruth's nomination was declined because she was a woman, and it was deemed inappropriate. Ruth was married to Marty Ginsburg for over 50 years. Their marriage was a rare partnership based on equality and mutual respect, truly an unconventional arrangement in 1950s America. Marty championed and promoted Ruth's career throughout their 56 years together. Marty once told a close friend, "I think the most important thing that I have done with my life is to enable Ruth to do what she has done." And Ruth had this to say about her husband after his death. "Marty Ginsburg was an extraordinary person. Of all the boys I dated, he was the only one that ever cared that I have a brain." Together, Ruth and Marty forged their future, attending Harvard Law School together. Following graduation, Marty stayed in the U.S. for 6 weeks with the couple's young daughter, Jane, while Ruth traveled to Sweden to write a book on Swedish civil procedure. Ruth would take the egalitarian temple of the Swedish legal system as a prototype for future gender equality laws in America. Ruth would found the Women's Rights Project at the American Civil Liberties Union in 1972. The project took to trial 300 cases of gender discrimination to court, including 66 to the Supreme Court. Ruth inspired a shared vision of equality by waging and winning cases that form the foundation for current anti-discrimination laws, trailblazing the way for equality of all Americans. When she was asked why she chose to do her work for equality at the ACLU, Ginsburg replied, "I wanted to be part of a general human rights agenda, promoting the equality of all people and the ability to be free." Ruth ascended to the highest court and issued the court's decision on the United States versus Virginia, enabling women to join the all-male Virginia Military Institute in 1996, overturning a 157-year ban on women attending the institute. Ginsburg was also instrumental in persuading Congress in 2008 to pass the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, enabling employees to win pay discrimination claims. Ginsburg is believed to be the first Supreme Court justice to officiate a same-sex wedding on August 31st, 2013, between Kennedy Center President Michael Kaiser and government economist John Roberts. Ruth encouraged the hearts of many groups of American minorities by issuing a string of fiery dissents in recent years, including the overturning of the Voting Rights Act, as well as issuing dissents on cases repealing affirmative action and workplace discrimination laws. Her forceful opinions gave rise to her firebrand voice for legal equality and social justice. When Ginsburg issued a massive dissent that included a 35-page written dissent as well as the rarely issued oral dissent from the bench on Birdwell versus Hobby Lobby stores, the internet swelled with commentary on Ginsburg's dissent opinion. Within minutes, Justice Ginsburg became an internet icon for women's autonomy. Her dissenting opinion became the symbolic battle cry in a larger culture war over women's contraception, women's bodies, and sexual freedom. Ginsburg encouraged the heart of women when commenting on overturning the United States versus Virginia Military Academy ban on women by saying, "Inherent differences between men and women we have come to appreciate remain a cause for celebration, but not for the denigration of members of either sex or for artificial constraints on an individual's opportunity." Justice Ginsburg became an icon when Shanna Kiznick, a former law student, created the notorious RGB Tumblr as a digital tribute to the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and sparked an international phenomenon. Shanna went on to write the New York Times bestseller, RGB. What we can learn from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Never give up. Ruth failed her driving test 5 times before finally passing it on the 6th attempt. Remain patient and steadfast. Her daughter Jane reports that her mother's favorite saying is, "You can't win an argument by yelling." Ginsburg is committed to being calm, deliberate, and thoughtful in her personal and professional demeanor. Take care of your body as well as your mind. Having beat cancer twice, Ginsburg remains committed to working out with a trainer regularly. And finally, keeping a positive outlook. "Having a career gave me enhanced appreciation for being alive," she said. "For that I am grateful." That's my leadership presentation. Thank you.